Okay, so today we're going to talk about slow motion and how to use slow motion in your highlights videos. So slow motion is a really great tool because everything looks cool in slow motion, right? Even if you're just walking slow motion, it looks cool. But two things about your slow motion. First of all, you want it to be smooth. The smoother the better, as smooth as a real motion. And second of all, you want it to be slow, right? The slower the better. So basically, to understand slow motion, you could think about having a flip book, right? With each image and then flipping through. That's how you get regular motion. To make slow motion, one thing you could do is just flip the pages more slowly, right? So that's the easiest and fastest, however also the worst way to make slow motion. All you're going to do is basically just change the time between the frames. So here in the Windows Live Movie Maker, you can do that just by going to your video tools here and then speed. You can change it. Okay, faster is gonna, or higher number is gonna be faster, and lower is gonna be slower. So here 0.12x, the slowest it goes, that's gonna be about 1/8 speed, or as we'll see later, equivalent to shooting something at 240 frames per second. Okay, if you want to make it the slow motion come up about suddenly, you can come here through your clip, you can pause it, you can split, and you can only apply the speed on the second area. We do the same thing in Adobe Premiere. Here I got the same clip. I've already spliced it into 3 sections. Okay, you do that with the razor tool. Then here we have the rate stretch tool, and that will go to the edge. That will allow you to make anything faster or slower. This is a little better than Windows Movie Maker because it goes at an arbitrary distance, right? An arbitrary slowing amount. Or you can make it smaller here, and that will make your speed go by faster. Okay, so again, slower and slower to go out, faster to go in. Again, here, if I want to only slow down the middle section, you can only apply this on the middle section here. Also, this gives a real good visual representation for your highlights videos. You don't want to put your slow motion too slow, or if you do, you want to cut it. Otherwise, it just takes up a really long amount of time, and nobody wants to watch, one kick for 2 minutes. Okay, so this is the fastest, easiest, but the worst way. The reason it's the worst way is it becomes choppy, as you can imagine with the flip book. It will look unnatural, right? If the original video was shot at 30 frames per second, well, whatever happens in less time than a 30th of a second will have never been caught by the camera in the first place. So that's why things are going to jump when you do this. And I'll show some examples later. The next way, which is really good, is to use something called Timewarp. We can use this in Adobe After Effects. So to get the Timewarp, you click on your source, go to Effects, Time, and Timewarp. Also, you want to make sure when you click on it, go to Time and enable time remapping. Okay? If you don't do that, then you're going to have a lot of trouble because you're going to try to fit it into the original time. Okay? So here, there's a lot of different things you could do. What this does, it actually interprets and it creates new frames for things that the camera didn't see. Okay, so here if you do pixel motion, what it will do is basically say, okay, his leg was here, and the next frame his leg was here, so in the middle frame they're gonna create a new leg here. They're gonna do this pixel by pixel. So this works really well, but it takes a little playing around with, and takes some thought when you first make your shot. See here we did this in a green screen, so it's very easy to see what is part of him and what is part of the background. You can imagine, wearing camouflage and shooting in a forest in low light, then the algorithm's gonna have a real hard time telling the background from the subject. Your results are not going to be good. So you want to play around with this a lot. You can take off a motion blur, which is looks natural when you see things in real life, but doesn't have to go in there, right? When the algorithm's interpolating the frames. This is your main thing here, the speed. And then you need to click here, so to let this vary with time. And you need to set your keyframes. So you see here, I have let's zoom out. I have a couple set of keyframes. I want that sharp cut, so I set this first keyframe here at 100. That means a regular speed, and I immediately set a keyframe at 5. So that means it's going to slow down 20 times. I let it be 5 this whole time, and then goes back up to 100 for the end. So you can really play around with this, and you can have the amount that it's slowing vary over time, and all kinds of stuff till you get what you're looking forward, or what you're really looking for. This may take a little time to render depending on your system and how long your clip is. Now the next thing, or the best way, is to just use a camera, right? A high-speed camera. So unfortunately, as the quality of these goes up, the price increases rapidly. They have them for, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're only capturing 1 or 2 seconds worth of video, and they're doing it, more than 1 million frames per second. We don't really need this. What we really need is just some commercial or some consumer or prosumer quality ones. They have things from GoPro, they have things from Casio. These kind of things work really well for this, and you can really stretch out your time a lot. If you have a 30 frames per second camera, that's considered a normal speed. So if you go up to 60 frames per second, now you can slow something down twice as much without having any kind of choppiness. If you have 120 frames per second, that's 4 times. We usually like to shoot around 240 frames per second, which allows us to slow something down 8 times without introducing any choppiness. Then I should also say you can definitely combine these results. So our best results come when we take at about 240 frames per second, and then we also do this Adobe Timewarp. So I'll now show you a couple of different things and how we created them.